Hi guys, so I know it's been a while since I've done my last video, and that's completely my fault. I've just been moving houses and stuff like that, so it's been complicated, hence the different backdrop as well. The other thing is that there's been a music video by Hobson called Ill Mind of Hobson 7, which is completely amazing. It's exactly about his story of leaving Christianity, and it's very relevant in the scope of what I've talked about in my video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what you do with yourself once you've actually left religion. The first one was about coming out to yourself. The second one was about coming out to other people. Now it's about how you actually live. Can you live your life? The best way I find to start talking about this kind of topic is to look at risks first. The first risk I always focus on is the risk of never leaving. What do I mean by that? When you're leaving religion, it's quite easy to become anti-religious with you're specifically focused on your own past religion, which in this case could be Islam. You find it very difficult to deal with hypocrisy in people and how they practice it. Things that you used to believe in that you've now find silly, or even the sense of betrayal. Now that's totally fine and totally normal. Remember the mountain analogy I made in the first two videos? Well, instead of leaving the mountain and looking at what's around you, you're turning around and you're talking back to the mountain and engaging with it. So you're not actually ever leaving. Now that's completely fine, and sometimes it's actually very cathartic to engage with the stuff that you believed in the past. At the same time, I believe that you've got to take some space first. What James Mulholland calls taking 1,000 steps away from the mountain first. It's a little bit like crying. Like, you know, you can cry and it's good for you, but you're not going to cry all the time. Take some space. Don't focus on your religion for a while. Focus on other things. You've got your whole life to debate. You don't need to debate in the beginning. When I say, you know, get away, walk 1,000 steps, what do I mean? One thing that I did is I spent more time learning about the world and, you know, things like the SciShow that, you know, by Hans and Frank, focusing on my businesses, etc. Make sure you keep questioning everything when you're walking these 1,000 steps. A lot of people think that, oh, now that I've left, I'm somehow enlightened. You're not. You don't know anything. I don't know anything, you know? And one of the key points for me was living with a gender studies student, and it completely changed how I viewed feminism and how I viewed how the world was structured in terms of patriarchy. It's also great if you join other communities. So in the second video, I talked about joining former Muslim communities, ex-Muslim communities, but also there's so many different things. If you like to dance, go learn how to dance. In my case, I learned improvisational drama, and it was the best thing. It was really therapeutic, and it really helped me connect with myself, and it really helped me through the difficult stages that people go through. Now the other risk is the risk of choices. In the past you might have been the sort of slave to a system where your choices may not really be your own, where you're doing things often with this idea that you're doing it also for other people. Now you can find yourself becoming a free moral agent, and that could be quite interesting and difficult. And it's a bit of a heady thing because you might not always be making the right choice. There's a bit of an anxiety around making choices, but this is completely normal, and over time it reduces quite a lot. And remember, those choices are your own. Your mistakes are your own. So make sure you surround yourself with people who can help guide you and who can uphold you when you're making mistakes. And don't forget, when you're mature enough, make sure you help other people. Pass it on. Another risk is the risk of trauma and negativism. Now, leaving Islam or any religion can be quite traumatic. Don't get bogged down by negativity. If you push yourself to be positive, it's a really good place to give yourself motivation to go out and walk the 1,000 steps, even if it seems really hard sometimes. Make sure you get therapy if you can. It doesn't matter whether you're leaving Islam or you're divorcing or whatever. Any kind of trauma you've got to deal with through some kind of professional help if you can. I want to talk a little bit about parents as well. There's a risk that you'll, really just hate your parents, and I can understand why with some of the stories that people have gone through. But don't forget that your parents often didn't have the choice of becoming Muslim, like many of us, and try to separate their own qualities from the qualities that may have been indoctrinated by them by either religion or culture or both. But if in the end they're stuck in this kind of way of thinking and it's causing you lots of emotional or physical or whatever, get away. Get away and engage with them on your own terms when you want to. It's your choice. If you never want to, that's totally fine as well. Now, I want to do a special mention about drinking. Now, when I say to people that I don't drink, it kind of throws people off, Muslims and ex-Muslims alike, because they kind of expect you to drink. I'm sort of the tap water guy. I find alcohol to be just like really coffee or something. It's like any drug. I find it a bit boring. I don't drink coffee either. But if you want to drink, that's totally fine. Make sure you surround yourself with people who drink sort of socially and whatever, and who know how much you can take. It goes back to the choices thing that I did before, which is make sure you surround yourself by people who can help guide you within the choices you make. So now that I've talked a lot about risks, what are the value systems that you have when you leave? Well, you've got to find that. That's the whole journey. That's what's around you in the land. And you might ask, well, where do your morality come from if it doesn't come from religion? You find out that your morality has been coming from other sources all along. Country you grew up in, the cultures you have around you, your parents, your friends, your best friend, your teachers at school, everything. Books you read, whatever. Values are really, really, really fluid. And that applies for whether you leave religion or whether you're within religion and you're moving around through different areas, whether you're becoming secular or progressive or whatever. Use different narratives and different sources of morality to guide you. This means knowing what you don't know and just going out to learn. Things are not black and white. Morality is not black and white. And you'll realize this, and you'll try to make the right decision as best as you can for everything that you want to do.